So this one is a little late, but better late than never. I was finally able to watch A Quiet Place Part 2 thanks to Amazon and it coming onto the streaming platform for free, aside from the user subscription fee, of course. But yes, of course, this stars Emily Blunt and both of her kids in the movie reprising the roles. John Krasinski makes a bit of an appearance in this as well. And it also stars Cillian Murphy as a new character in this, who actually has some good depth to him, and we find out that him and John and Emily Blunt's character in the movie were friends before the invasion took place. But of course, in this movie, we get a little bit of the day one chaos to explain a little bit more about where these creatures came from and how it affected society. And of course, we do get to see the continuation of their story, how they're moving on after the loss of their father and husband in terms of Emily Blunt's character's case. And just basically how humanity has evolved. Humans are still in the looting stage. There is a lot of violence amongst humans, and of course too, mobility is just very, very limited in a scenario like this, where every sound you make could be the last sound you ever make. So without further ado, let me get into my review for A Quiet Place Part 2. So in terms of all just how intense the first movie is, this one definitely ramps it up. I felt like the stakes for a lot higher. There's also too just a lot more thrown into the mix, where one of the characters becomes immobilized for most of the movie after setting off a bear trap, and just the absolute terror of him realizing what's happening, the pain living, not wanting to scream his lungs out to get the pain out so that he doesn't attract any of these monsters. It's definitely absolutely terrifying, and we get to see too just how stalker like these creatures are. And they're so quick, they're so brutal. We do get to see a lot more of these monsters than we did in the first movie as well. And of course, it hasn't really changed too much, where there's still very, very not great with very loud, high-pitched noises. And humans, well, at least Emily Blunt and her family, have learned to use that to their advantage, where they basically carry a boombox around them, and the one deaf girl in their family who has a hearing aid holds it up to a microphone, and basically it just creates a sound loud enough that the armor shells on these monsters can open up and they can shoot it to do whatever they need to kill it as it's immobilized. And yeah, I just found the stakes were a lot higher in this. There are some really great like human enemies that come into this as well. There's one lake scene which is absolutely awesome, but all the action in this, again, I found the first movie did so many things that were just super unique to put on screen, just ways to get out of scenarios. They just have a lot of fun brainstorming ideas of how you would use sounds either to your advantage and how they could be used to your disadvantage too in this movie, and they definitely carry this throughout. There's just a lot of really cool, unique concepts and ideas that they throw into it that just got me super excited when I realized what the characters were doing. Emily Blunt's amazing. Like, just everyone in this movie has their moment to shine, and it's just so well done. There's also just the intense and just scariness of having a baby with you during a time like this, where they have no idea what's going on, and yeah, just basically having to lock it up in a storage cabinet or just like a little box, but have enough. They have a ventilator that they're able to use to give it as much oxygen as the baby needs and also quiet it a little bit. And it's just like the whole scenario just seems impossible to escape from, but they come up with so many unique ideas to help their characters just be badasses and get through the scenario and truly think and have you think about how to get out of this. And it was just a really fun, well done movie. Again, in terms of plot, it is pretty simple, where they find a distress call playing an old song that leads them to potentially what could be an island habitat where the monsters never landed. They can't swim, so they can't get over to this island, so it's basically like a safe haven. But at the same time, it's like, how do you trust that, and how do we get from point A to point B without attracting any of these monsters, and of course too without attracting any of these god-awful humans that are still in the looting stage, and it's them or else basically. But just with the horror and how intense this movie actually gets, and how, just like I said, how unique it is and how well done just they're able to brainstorm all these concepts of how to get out of these scenarios, get from point A to point B, just made for an awesomely intense, super well done, super well directed, amazingly well acted, sound design, everything in this was so well done. I love the scenes where it showed it from the daughter's perspective, where she's deaf, so there's absolute chaos happening around her and she has no idea, and she has to react to not being able to hear what's going on, see what's going on, just the absolute pandemonium around her. And she was amazingly fantastic in this movie. One of the best performances I've easily seen this year so far by the young daughter in this, and it was just an absolutely fantastic movie. Emily Blunt was great, John Krasinski was amazing in this time. Everyone in this was just so well done. Great character additions, great intense horror, and with all this taken together, I have to give A Quiet Place Part 2 an 8 out of 10. Highly recommend that you either go see this in theaters if it's available to you, or like I said, if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, it is up there. You just have to be a member and it is free for you to watch. So definitely check this out. It is just a little over 90 minutes long. I think it was an hour and 37 minutes if I remember correctly, but just an absolute blast of a time throughout that entire time frame. And of course, if you've seen A Quiet Place Part 2, please let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, how excited you are for a Part 3, and if you want a Part 3, of course, anything you want to talk about, just leave it down in the comments. If you like this video, of course, give it a thumbs up, and you can check out all my other movie reviews and everything I do on this channel through my playlist down below, and I'll link them up top here. Subscribe, turn the little ringer on if you want to know when I upload new videos in terms of everything that I do on Twitch. In my channel page and also in this video, in the description, there is a link to my Twitch account and also a link to the Media Mountain, which is my Discord, where we talk about comics, video games, movies, TV, music, pretty much just everything that's awesome in this world we talk about. So definitely join that amazing community and help make it even more amazing than it is already. And yes, just awesome, guys.